Hi, everyone, and welcome in to Gridiron Dynasty, a fantasy football podcast. We are on episode 15. I checked literally the YouTube channel right before hitting record because neither one of us could remember which number episode we were on. So, as always, I am your host, Tim, and I am joined by my co-host, Pat. Say hi, Pat.
Hello.
Today is going to be a good episode. They're all good episodes, but this one's going to be a good one, too. We're going to break down... Pat's going to break down with the huge COVID outbreak that's been happening in the NFL. Washington, 18 players on it. Cleveland's got, was it 9, including Kevin Stefanski, their head coach, on it right now. What to do?
11, I think now.
What to do considering that most leagues are entering the first week of playoffs. 12-team leagues are entering the playoffs next week for 10-team leagues in most formats. And then after that, we are going to talk about our podcast league that we have and break down what's going on in the playoffs for that. So, Pat, why don't you kick us off? What to do with all this COVID stuff?
Well, what to do with all this COVID stuff? Even what we're going to go over now is probably going to change drastically, even before this first week. Forget the rest of the playoffs. So the way the league breaks it down is that if you test positive and you are unvaccinated, you are out.
10 days minimum.
That's it. 10 days.
Yep.
Probably 2 weeks will be most of your fantasy playoffs. So obviously we don't know the status of vaccination of players around until they end up on this list and they get told they're out for 10 days, and then or they can test negative within 2 weeks if they are fully vaccinated and show no symptoms. And these things happen at a drop of a hat. The Rams last week lost Tyler Higbee and Jalen Ramsey 3 hours before game time. Yay. Be prepared to adapt to that on Monday Night Football.
Yep.
When you have a league to win. So thing one I will say is don't be caught out with no one. Don't have one tight end going into the playoffs. You don't know if he's going to make it.
Yeah. Always.
Let alone injuries. COVID's one of those things that it comes out of nowhere for these people. Mainly because most of them are vaccinated. So they're asymptomatic a lot of times. And then
or false positives.
Everyone's fine one day, and then no one's fine the next day. They're getting tested daily on a lot of teams right now, which means a false positive. See ya.
Yep, Tyler
You
Higbee.
got to have 2 tests, and you got to wait 48 hours. They won't even let you test them right away to figure it out. So depending on the day your negative test happens would determine whether or not you're able to play. So be prepared. Don't take anything for granted when it comes to your fantasy team. Do not be left out in the cold. I know a lot of leagues have IR spots, especially dynasty leagues, and they are very much usable for COVID in almost all cases. I don't think I've seen any league that doesn't allow COVID players onto an IR. And a lot of leagues also designated an IR spot for COVID. If yours didn't, I suggest you keep one open. Because if it happens Monday night and you're stuck with 2 options, drop the player who just got COVID or put him in an empty IR spot and add someone different for just the day, you're probably going to want to do that option. Monday night games, Sunday night games, they're getting flexed in on Sunday nights right now. So you're going to have big name players going Sunday nights. Who knows who the backup's going to be? The backup may get COVID.
Yeah, that's another thing to remember.
The whole team may get COVID.
That's another thing. If the Dolphins right now, all their running backs
are on my list.
Yeah. That's like one of them gets it, the whole room's going to wind up getting it.
So, and even if they don't, they're close contacts, which means you still have to wait 48 hours, get 2 negative tests, and then you're allowed back on the field, which means no practicing for 48 hours.
Yep.
You're doing virtual learning like you're back in elementary school. And it probably doesn't work very well, just like it doesn't. Speaking of the Dolphins, which are on my list, so we'll fast forward to them right now. They haven't been the most running proficient team ever. Let's be honest. So the only player you probably have on this list who might be playing is Myles Gaskin. And even then, you probably missed the playoffs. But let's say you didn't. Let's say you traded for him when he had that really good week. Someone took advantage of the moment, and now you have Myles Gaskin. Ahmed, out. Phillip Lindsay, out. So what do? Well, I have good news for you. Duke Johnson and Malcolm Brown are on your waiver wire list. Because if someone has them and they did not already have Myles Gaskin, they're crazy.
Yeah.
The Dolphins do not have a run game. It's not good. But they're playing the worst rush defense in the NFL this week.
Yep.
So, do they have opportunities for rushing? Yes. So, what do you do if you had Kareem Hunt as your running back too? Duke Johnson and Malcolm Brown are probably still on waivers.
Right.
Kareem Hunt is not playing.
I lean towards Duke Johnson over Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown's just coming off the IR. Duke Johnson catches the ball. So it's a crapshoot, but like you said, the Jets are not good against the run. So
And there's your biggest problem also. It's tier 5 running backs. So if you look at the team, you go Duke Johnson, unproven, new to the team. Malcolm Brown was running back 2 on the team in week 7 when he played last. So where do you roll the dice? Do you roll the dice on the guy who was running back number 2 8 weeks ago? Or do you roll the dice on the dude who was just practicing all week and healthy?
yeah, and Duke Johnson's not part of the close contact because he's been on the practice squad this entire time. So he hasn't been in the running back room with these guys. So he's still with the team learning everything. But
And Malcolm Brown was on the IR, so he was with the IR players instead of being with the main running back group.
so all you have right now in Miami is Duke Johnson and Malcolm Brown. Now, there is a possibility that Gaskin, Ahmed, and Lindsay are all active for this game on Sunday. They still have the chance to test negative 24 hours apart twice. It's a crapshoot right now, man.
All 3 of them are vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a chance.
But they all tested positive, which is, it's not that they were just close contact. All 3 of those running backs tested positive. So there's a bigger
has to be a
problem.
False positive, and you have to test negative twice, 48 hours apart. So it's going to be tight.
And they won't have a week of practicing either under their belt. So they're not going to be practicing this week, and then they're going to go into this game. I know the Jets suck, but it's still hard to go into any matchup in any NFL game without a week of practice and be successful.
So my running back owners there kind of sucks. But here's the other part of that. Get ready to bump up the other players on the list. Devontae Parker, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's going to be no run game. Tua's got legs, but he doesn't use them all that often. It's not his game. So you're going to see a lot more passing because Tua's not going to trust the people standing behind him anyway.
Nope.
He's had very good connections with those 3 players. And that is it. So get ready to fire them on all cylinders because those are your players that are getting the boost in this. There's going to be probably 8 to 10 targets for all 3 of them. So if you were on the fence about starting Mike Gesicki, for whatever reason you'd be on the fence about starting Mike, I don't really know why you'd be on the fence anyway. It's go time.
Yep.
Devontae Parker and Jalen Waddle have gotten 10 targets per game while they had a running game. That ain't going to change. So get ready because they're going. Possibly more importantly than those ones, Daryl Henderson. Injury, COVID, double whammy. The Rams are getting nailed right now to a wall. They play the second worst rush defense in the NFL. So
Sony Michel.
Sony Michel. If you're in a dynasty league that still has a trade deadline that has not passed, or they allow you to trade all the way, and the person who has Sony Michel is not in the playoffs, go figure it out.
Go
figure it out. Daryl Henderson, you don't even know what he's going to be because he hasn't practiced because of the injury. Now, on top of this, he hasn't practiced because of COVID. So if you're going this week and you have something that someone else wants for a player who's not going to really play next year, guaranteed play, I should say, probably he does well enough over the last couple of weeks. He may get a job, but it's not going to be a starting job. Cam Akers is coming back next year. Daryl Henderson's still running back number 2, so he's not going to play on the Rams next year. Where's he going to play? We don't know. He's been a if something happens, start him type running back for a while now. Something has happened, it's time to start him. So if you still have ability to make trades, he's probably a pretty good target because we don't know how long he's going to play for, but he's probably going to start this week.
Yeah.
And
he's looked good.
The Rams have their own problems.
Yeah.
So.
And the Sony Michel has looked good while starting for Daryl Henderson too. It's not like Rex Burkhead here being the starting running back for the Texans who averages 3 yards per carry. Sony Michel has looked like a starting running back. So he's getting his points, he's getting his touches. So yeah, fire up Sony Michel if Daryl Henderson doesn't play. Even if Daryl Henderson doesn't play, even if he does play, I mean, Sony Michel might not be a terrible play because like Pat said, he hasn't been practicing. So how much work are they really going to give the dude coming off an injury, have no practice, and then coming back? Did he test positive or was he a close contact? He tested positive. So you have no idea if he was asymptomatic or if he was symptomatic.
He was the first one that was out.
Yeah.
So he was the first Ram that went down.
Right. So
out of everyone.
The thing with COVID is it attacks your respiratory system. So he is not going to be in playing shape if he's showing symptoms. If he's asymptomatic, that's a different story. But if he has symptoms, he's probably not in playing shape currently. So I don't think Daryl Henderson gets a complete load. I still think Sony Michel gets a bulk of the work. And why not?
If you haven't practiced in 3 weeks, you're not going to get a complete load.
Exactly.
So, and Henderson was out an entire week of practice because of an injury. Now he's been out a week and a half of practice because of COVID and an injury. So I wouldn't expect much there. No. Even if he is there, maybe here's a third down to get you back in game shape type thing. Sony Michel, probably your featured back. So it depends on what the other person wants from him, but remember, he's not starting next year. So you can probably get him for something not so expensive.
Right. Like a rookie prospect that you've been holding on to, hope for, that the other team probably needs to build towards the future. That rookie prospect and maybe throwing a mid-round pick to sweeten the pot.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or just even if you got to figure you're in the playoffs, you're mid-second half. So second-round pick for a fourth-round pick because they're going to be up higher. So
do a little
see
something.
Where you can find your balance there. I'm sure there's something. If the person who you're going to is not going to keep that person next year, very much like in the NFL, you find value where you can find value.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen Deandre Hopkins go for picks he did not, deserve to go for.
Yeah.
So
he's out for the year.
Not make an offer. Don't go give it a shot.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, take my third-round pick. And then have the other guy go, hey, give me your second-round pick. And then go, all right, whatever. So throw something out there if you need some running back depth, which everyone has needed running back depth all year. And now running backs are going out with COVID. So strike up an extra reason to need running back depth. On the wide receiver front, the two big names who used to play together and now don't play together, but somehow still both got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
What have they been doing over there? Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. As someone very nicely put it, ever since OBJ left the Browns, he's been catching everything. And now he caught this.
COVID. Yep.
So add that to the list of things he's caught since he left Baker Mayfield, who also caught COVID. Big day for everyone in the Browns. and ex-Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Big moment for them.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a replacement for OBJ, first of all, that means you kept OBJ. Congratulations. You deserve a medal. Also, it means for some reason you were starting OBJ, which again, medal. Maybe the last 2 games, but you had to have kept him to have been starting him. If you held on to him, took a flyer on him, and made the playoffs, you got to find someone because you're probably not going to find someone on the Rams.
Yep.
Van Jefferson is going to be on someone's roster. He's been putting up monster numbers. He doesn't really move into that wide receiver 2 role well. We saw what happened the last time they wanted him to do that. It did not work. So whatever that little white dude's name from Notre Dame is, who's on my team and played for Notre Dame, and I still can't pronounce his name.
Skwarek?
Yeah,
that guy.
Just like I think he talked to Samarja about how to make his last name as difficult as possible.
Yeah.
And here we are. If he's there and you have no other options, okay. I'm sure there's someone on waivers who's looking for something.
Yeah, there's
we've been talking up. It depends on what kind of league you're in.
Right. There are some leagues that'll have a player like Alan Lazard is sitting there on waivers. MVS is not practicing. I think the last thing I read was he wasn't practicing because of a back issue. And Alan Lazard last week put up over 20 fantasy points. He's sitting there. Pick him up. Another person to look out for, and I know this is going to be gross and it hurts me to say, is Braxton Berrios on the Jets. He got 10 targets last week. Corey Davis is gone. Elijah Moore is gone. Braxton Berrios also returns kicks. So you get punt return yards and kick return yards from him. And if anyone's getting 10 targets and you catch 50% of them, there's 5 catches in a PPR league. And that still helps. So
just never forget who he's going up against this week.
He's going up against Miami.
Xavier Howard.
Xavier Howard does not cover in the slot last time I checked. And Braxton Berrios does not play on the outside.
Where's Doug Crowder was taking your slot stabs.
Both of them are.
We just have 2 slot receivers. You have a very confusing offense. No wonder you guys can't win.
We have Keelan Cole and Denzel Mims on the
Keelan
Cole and Denzel Mims are on the outside. So yeah,
that's even worse. Okay.
So that's why Braxton Berrios and Jameson
Crowder.
Crowder.
Don't fire up Keelan Cole then.
Yeah. Or Denzel Mims. Gross.
Maybe one of them will just line up as tight end. You don't got one of those, right? So.
We have Ryan Griffin. Thank you very much.
So we'll put Braxton Berrios as a tight end?
No.
If you did that in Madden, you'd probably be great.
It was weird last week. So, Braxton Berrios played 27% of snaps, I think, last week, and he got 10 targets. Or he ran 27 routes, got targeted on 10 of them. That's a huge target share for routes per run, which means he's doing something that Zach Wilson likes. Zach Wilson's not playing good
really
either.
Wants someone else who reminds him of Wes Welker.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. But no, definitely check to see if Alan Lazard is out there. Because Alan Lazard has been the epitome of up and down this year. But if MVS isn't playing this week, Alan Lazard's a nice play.
And I have a thrower for you. Mm-hmm. And this is mine. I've been picking him up in leagues. Even leagues I'm not in right now. It looks like the Texans are attempting to move forward with Mr. Mills.
Yep.
And he really likes throwing the ball to Nico Collins.
He's got the rookie connection.
They have the rookie connection. 10 targets the last game. 10 targets the last time they played together also. Have the targets resulted in a lot? Not yet. But they get to play the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. And as the Rams will tell you, if anything can fix your life, it's playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can make you feel like a whole new man.
Just watch out. Urban Meyer might kick you.
Yeah, well, so might Kareem Hunt. So we got to just be prepared for where you're going here.
Wolf.
Just got to duck. I actually read a comment on that where someone said Josh Allen should have kicked him back, and they said he tried, he missed, and that's why he got cut. That's accurate. So sad. But yeah, that's see?
Wow. Accurate, unlike Lambeau.
Exactly. Well, poor Urban should play kicker for them. He seems
apparently
to get the job done right. Unless he was aiming for his arm and hit his leg or something. I don't know.
Still might be better.
But you're playing the Jaguars, so Nico Collins, I think he's gonna be on most waivers.
Yeah.
If you're looking for someone to fill in for a week, and you're out of that final flex spot, and your normal wide receivers are gone, there's a flyer coming here somewhere. So figure out where you want to take your flyer.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on who's out there. Compare a couple of guys. Donovan Peoples-Jones is probably on waiver somewhere still.
Yeah, probably.
He's got to be the wide receiver 1 at this point, right? All the rest of them have COVID.
Right, and he has Case Keenum throwing him the ball.
By Case Keenum, but, you know.
Case Keenum showed us in Minnesota. He ain't afraid to chuck it. So Case Keenum can play quarterback. So it's Case Keenum is probably one of the better backup quarterbacks in the NFL. So I'm not worried about production for Peoples-Jones. Going back to Davis Mills though, if you're in a dynasty league and you're not in the playoffs, throw him on your bench and see how the rest of the season goes. Because there's a report out that the Texans aren't looking at taking a quarterback next year because they believe in Davis Mills. So in a dynasty league, if Mills plays well to end the season, he might be good to keep for next year. Might. Just saying. Just hold on to him. Is that what you're doing too, Pat?
I already did.
Yeah. We talked about him on the rookie show. The kid was a number 1 recruit coming out of high school. He has the talent.
I didn't know. Yeah. Last week when they said he was going to take over starter for the end of the year with my atrocious quarterback situation on our sleeper league, I figured anything works, right? Got Justin Fields if I can sneak in a second one as a waiver wire pickup and this late in the season.
Congratulations on your bye week, by the way.
Put up 19 points. I already won. It's my first win in weeks. Although I think it's a loser's bracket. So if you lose, they move you over to the next round. So whatever. It counts as a win for me. Hey, 14-0 in the other league.
Yeah.
Got a bye in that one also.
That one's actually in the playoffs. And then you and I get to play each other.
Playoffs of the other league.
And then we get to play each other in the Yahoo League, regardless of who finishes second, who finishes third. So,
is there home field advantage in that? By the way, I was curious. No, so we're playing each other, and here we go.
Yeah.
Set the lineups. All right. Cool.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Is just we set our lineups and good luck, sir. Good luck, and we're good.
That's it. We'll be here.
Yeah.
2 weeks to talk about that one.
Yeah. If I would have won last week, I'd be tied for first with my brother, but it is what it is.
His team's been outrageous this year, though.
Yeah. He's been putting up a lot of points. But the fun thing is, though, he has only won highest score of the week once. He's just consistently high, just not consistently the highest. There's only 2 teams in this league, in that league, that haven't won the $5 reward, and that's you and McCarron for the highest score of the week.
Okay.
So
life sucks. Third place is fine.
Yeah. All right.
I'll be all right.
Anything else you'd like to add for COVID?
Yeah, if you have Nick Chubb, Cooper Kupp, or Hunter Renfrow, start them. I know you're probably already starting them, but start them again. Start them twice. Start them as many times as you can, because they're going to get the ball a lot. A lot.
That's just
a lot.
That's grade A analysis right there from Pat.
Start
the wide receiver 1.
If the 3 of them don't put up over 35 points this week,
I love it.
I'll be shocked.
Make sure you guys start the wide receiver 1 this week.
Start him everywhere. I don't care. If you got a bye week, start him. Daily fantasy, start him. You're just kind of holding playing cards in your hand, start them. I don't care. They're going to put up massive amount of fantasy points this week.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, no one else is really out. The Rams defense and the Browns defense are both going to suck this week, so get ready for some fun.
Well, good news for the Browns is they are playing Vegas, who is...
And that's why I already said Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, we also have no idea what Vegas team is going to show up this week, so...
Probably the one that gives Hunter Renfrow 15 targets, and I don't really care outside of that because he's the only player that you're starting anyway.
If Darren Waller doesn't play, yes, Hunter Renfrow gets 15 targets again. Darren Waller somehow plays.
Darren Waller's not playing.
Shut up.
He can't even practice.
Okay.
He's not playing. And Foster Moreau's out also.
Right. Well, no, he stayed.
Fucking lineups out.
He stayed today. He was limited. He practiced.
He's limited through a walkthrough. He can't even do a walkthrough.
That's fine.
He fell over himself.
Okay, can we stop whispering?
He's too big. He's very top heavy.
Oh, okay.
Are they going to do this for the whole show?
I don't know, but I don't want to.
We might. We can't.
Yeah, I can't.
I need more whiskey. I'm over it. Okay.
All right. So now we're going to move on to our league. we haven't talked about it really in a couple weeks because
I'm gonna go that way.
it hasn't really done a lot. So we have, for the two of us, and Pat and I completely planned this, by the way, at the beginning of the year. We decided that we were going to do a league with the podcast, and then we were like, no, what we should do, we should have one team finish at the top and one team finish in last place. And that's what we did. I finished first, Pat finished last. So we totally planned that from the start.
We had agreed to do it the other way, though. That was the...
Yeah, I didn't get that memo when you guys let me draft Cooper Kupp in, the 7th round? So...
I don't remember.
So myself and Suts have first round buys. Suts was able to beat Berman last week to push himself into that second place spot. So our matchups in the playoffs, also Pat has a bye this week in the toilet bowl, which I love, and there's a duty emoji next to it, so that's perfect. Pat and Sean get buys in that because they were the two worst teams in the league. I just think it's miraculous, Pat, that you finished lower than the team that didn't set their lineup every week.
I like to practice.
Okay. Got it. Anyway, so we'll break down our first matchup, and it's the one that shows up here, the 4 seed versus the 5 seed. Finishing fourth was my brother Matt, who had a new team after week 4, it seems like, after all the trades he made, versus the O'Connors, and not Gardner Minshew. Matt is favored by a whopping 15 points right now in projections, but projections don't mean shit. However, Matt's team was the highest scoring team in the league this year. Uphill battle for Rory. I do give the advantage to Matt because, yes, the thing that could hurt my brother's team right now is the fact that James Conner got hurt at the end of the game last week. He is day-to-day. He practiced, I think, on a limited fashion today, if he did practice. So that's something for him to monitor. But the good news is he has Chase Edmonds. So if Connor doesn't go, Edmonds plays and he'll be fine. It's just Edmonds won't get the touchdowns that Connor got. But the quarterback play.
Chase Edmonds back?
What?
Chase Edmonds back?
No, he was close.
For 6 weeks.
He was close for Monday Night Football. So it looks like he's going to be back this week. The other thing for my brother is Josh Allen is dealing with a sprained foot. It seems like he's going to play, but another thing for him to monitor. The strong point for Matt's team right now is Josh Allen and Tom Brady are his quarterbacks. So they're putting up 20-something points each. Josh Allen putting up closer to 30 recently, so he's getting 50 points between those two players right there. So that's why his team is so strong, and it's arguably Rory's weak point, or the O'Connor's weak point right now. Dak hasn't been Dak, and Tua is good for fantasy right now. So, and he's got the Jets.
And we already discussed the fact that they have no running game.
Yep. I would not, if I'm the O'Connors, bank on Terry McLaurin playing this weekend, though. That was a nasty fall that he had with that concussion. So I don't think Terry McLaurin's going to wind up playing this weekend, which obviously hurts their chances because he's their best wide receiver? Question mark? I don't want to say Brandon Ayuk is. That feels gross.
I mean, right now? Terry McLaurin hasn't played well in weeks, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not really something to bank on there either.
Right.
I think the biggest thing I would say Marquis Brown, probably their best receiver at the moment.
Right.
So you have a couple of interesting matchups in that. Obviously, Josh Allen's sprained foot probably doesn't hurt his ability to throw, but he does a lot of fantasy point damage with his legs. Is he going to be as mobile with a sprained foot? We don't know. Tampa Bay and New Orleans seem to duke it out a lot. Sean Payton usually comes to play against them. Marshawn Lattimore is still there. That's not the right name, is it?
No, Marshawn's the right name.
Marshawn's the right name.
Marcus is the running back.
The running back that used to, yeah.
Marcus was at South Carolina, right?
Yeah, that's why I keep confusing them.
Yeah.
I always call him. It's fine. I have the Lattimore jersey. It's just the wrong one. That doesn't help me very much in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Dak has been struggling, but he gets to play the Giants.
Yep.
Doesn't hurt.
Nope.
Doesn't hurt. DeAndre Swift, if he's back, that's a big boost for that team.
Right. Also sitting on his IR is Michael Carter for the Jets. They designated him to return today.
Supposed to be back.
So that helps, and Michael Carter was getting a lot of work before he got hurt.
I would expect him to be back, to be playing. Brandon Cooks is sitting in their flex spot, so if McLaurin's out, Cooks up from McLaurin, Michael Carter in. They have Dallas Goedert on their bench also. Washington kind of sucks against tight ends. So that's a play you can make also. They do have some options sitting on their bench. Starting Ricky Seals-Jones over Dallas Goedert. I'm in last place. Don't take my advice, but probably not the move I'd make.
No.
I did pick up Ricky Seals-Jones in another league just to see what he does.
Mm-hmm.
If McLaurin's out, I get the draw because big target away. Target's got to go somewhere. Sims looks great if you throw him the ball twice directly into his hands. But that's about it. So, if Ricky Seals-Jones can pick up 8 targets instead of 4, you could see a lot more movement against a very, very weak defense in Philly against tight ends. Darius Slay plays outside. He plays fantastic. So it might actually benefit Ricky Seals-Jones when McLaurin is eventually ruled out.
Mm-hmm.
Ayuk has just been hot recently because Deebo Samuel's playing running back, which he's still not eligible for, which confuses the hell out of me. I don't get how you can start at running back 4 games in a row and not have running back eligibility. But, why? Who am I?
It probably has to do with percentage of snaps at the position or something.
Yeah, well, give it 2 more weeks. Taysom Hill took his snaps at tight end. He became a quarterback in a day. So, I mean, it changes where you can start someone. Cordell Patterson, it's a big – being able to put him in that running back spot is big.
Yep.
It opens up a lot of opportunities. So there's decisions to be made. And as anyone knows, you've seen teams that put up the most amount of points in the regular season get into the playoffs, end of the season in regular football, things go differently.
Mm-hmm.
We're not that deep in the season yet. They've added an extra week. COVID's here. Injuries are here. Teams that are in the playoffs are going to be more cautious. That's just the way it works at this time of year. So that James Conner thing, if he's not feeling 100% and Chase Edmonds is good to go, even if James Conner starts, that's a snap share that you're losing out on because probably not going to play as much. Obviously, you have Buffalo who's fighting for every single thing they can do. So Josh Allen's a go. They'll tape that up as much as they can. He's a go. So that's not really – I wouldn't be worried about Josh Allen not playing.
Right.
Mitchell Trubisky is not taking over the Buffalo Bills when they're on the brink of missing the playoffs after they were projected to be the best team in the AFC. It's not happening. Josh Allen will need to break that ankle.
Right. And
Let's be honest.
And the good thing for my brother's team is he has Stephon Diggs. If Josh Allen's foot is limiting him in the running game, that means he's going to throw the ball more. He's going to throw the ball more to Stephon Diggs. So that's a nice bump for him. Anything else you'd like to touch on with that matchup?
Yeah, Jalen Waddle is going to put up 25-plus points, so that's definitely an underrated spot.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to the next one, where we have Berman as the 3 seed going up against the guy who literally tried to tank too early and squeaked into the playoffs, Alex. He wanted to tank like week 6, and here he is in the playoffs as the 6th seed. The first thing that jumps out on the page to me is the big old question mark at quarterback for Berman, Lamar Jackson. Is he going to play this week? Is he not going to play this week? If he doesn't play this week, Berman has Carson Wentz and Huntley. Huntley's serviceable. He's not Lamar. He ain't putting up Lamar points. So that's a big downgrade for Berman if Lamar can't go. And he also has Odell Beckham, who don't know if he's going to play or not this weekend. And then Alex's team, AJ Green. Not a bad play if DeAndre Hopkins is out. It's when DeAndre Hopkins is out. even with DeAndre Hopkins playing last week, AJ Green had 8 catches for over 100 yards, something like that. So not terrible. KJ
And
Osborne,
they
what?
tried to
Yeah,
get DeAndre Hopkins the ball.
they gave him 12
They
targets.
forced DeAndre Hopkins the ball, and he did not have a good game still.
Nope.
Darius Williams played fantastically against him.
Right.
He had several breakups. Leonard Floyd knocked down a ball at the line of scrimmage that stopped DeAndre Hopkins from getting a touchdown. So there was 3 touchdown breakups, one of which led to the injury that will see DeAndre Hopkins miss the rest of the regular season. Big loss for anyone who had DeAndre Hopkins, obviously.
Yep.
So it hurts to lose a player like that who you rely on as wide receiver 1 numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you have backups, but again, there's not much backup for that. You put DeAndre Hopkins in a different tier when you speak about fantasy football and fantasy, and just regular playing, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Based off of injury reports, the way everything's been going, it would be, for me, an impressive feat if Berman won this matchup.
Because of all the injuries?
He is heavily favored.
Mm-hmm.
Over 10 points.
Yep.
But just running through this matchup list, maybe it paints a different picture for Sleeper. I know Ezekiel Elliott's probably not ranked all that high, and that is what it is. But I don't know what Sleeper thinks about when they think about the Denver Broncos running backs.
And Javonte Williams.
I don't know if they're if they've given up on him.
They think he's in a timeshare, so we can't
10
accurately.
points?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Melvin Gordon's only projected 10 points too, and they've both been putting up good numbers.
They put up 2 touchdowns each last week.
That is their
Teddy
offense.
Bridgewater. It ain't going that far. They're playing the Cincinnati Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
So he's criminally underrated.
KJ Osborne's projections though too.
Najee Harris had a great year, but it hasn't been all that great recently. The Tennessee Titans defense has done well, bottling up running backs. The entire offense is a question mark in Pittsburgh. So 18.5 seems a little generous for me. OBJ is probably going to miss the game with COVID. Deonte Johnson, on the flip side of what I just said about Najee Harris, the place that Tennessee struggles is with wide receivers. Deonte Johnson's your 12, 13 target guy every week.
And I think
without fail.
I think he's one of 2 wide receivers. Him and Cooper Kupp, I think, are the only ones in every game they've played and have put up double-digit fantasy points from the wide receiver position. Deontay Johnson's been kind of flying under the radar this year about how good he has been for fantasy. He's wide receiver 8, I think, in PPR formats. Yeah, wide receiver 8 right now in PPR formats because he's getting targets, he's getting catches. He's not a touchdown scorer. He's going to get you 7 catches for 85 yards, which is a consistent 15 points. I'll
get
take
you 10 catches for 85 yards. So
yeah,
he's going to put up. He's going to put up 16 to 20 easy, and he can sneak into the end zone. That's a great number.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase, obviously, he has his 3 touchdown days. He's got his 2 touchdown days. He's got his 1 catch for 25-yard days.
And he's got Patrick Surtain going up against
him
this weekend.
He's got Patrick Surtain this week and a really good Broncos secondary.
Justin Simmons playing over the top to help out on those deep balls too. It's just Justin Simmons is one of the best safeties in football, and then Patrick Surtain is, if it weren't for Micah Parsons, the best defensive rookie from this year's draft. But he's a very close second right now.
And when you have Joe Burrow, who does not care who he throws the ball to, when they have bottled up Jamar Chase, T. Higgins has looked like a wide receiver 1.
Yep.
He's put up double-digit targets, double-digit receptions, and triple-digit yardage with the touchdown. And then CJ Hujimama has been running over teams that suck at covering tight ends when Jamar Chase is bottled up. So if you double Chase, he'll find someone else.
this also looks like a
that's-
Joe Mixon game to me. This kind of just feels like a Joe Mixon game.
They all feel like Joe Mixon games to me.
Yeah.
And then I remember that they're playing in Denver, and that at some point, Joe Burrow's going to want to see how far he can throw that ball inside that stadium.
Which
Just
is
like
fine.
every other young quarterback does. He wants to see how far that ball can go, and that's where Jamar Chase should scare you.
Right.
Because that one time you miss coverage, the one time he gets a chance, there's going to be a 68-yard touchdown to Jamar Chase. You cannot slip up once. He's going to look for him. So I get Jamar Chase's projection. It's 14.5. I think that's it's basing it off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that 8-catch type day from him. I see that, holy God, there he goes. Oh, should have started him.
Yep.
Damn. I did that with Tyler Boyd in the fantasy playoffs one time.
Mm-hmm.
Did the same thing. He had an 80-yard touchdown. He had one catch the whole game.
Yep.
But it was an 80-yard touchdown, which is worth bonus points in every single aspect of it. And that was it. There they go.
Yep. And
so I think it's going to be – I think that one's going the other way.
Which, as the first seed, the way Sleeper does their playoffs is it does do playoff reseeding for each round. So it's not going to be me versus a predetermined matchup winner. I'm going to go up against the lowest seed, whichever lowest seed is left. So right now, based off of what I think these games are going to turn out, it's going to be Alex winning as the 6th seed and my brother winning as the 4th seed. Between those two teams as the number 1 seed, I'd much rather go up against Alex and then play my brother in the finals. I'd rather not have to go up against my brother until the end, which is obviously ideal. So yeah, I'm pulling for Alex to win in this one. Because Adam Thielen, once Adam Thielen comes back, KJ Osborne becomes a bench player again. So that's a player to take out of his lineup. Adam Thielen might be back next week. I don't think Adam Thielen's back this week. But so I truly think Alex will win besides the fact that I'm rooting for him. But if Berman wins, I play the winner of Rory versus my brother anyway, regardless. So. And then Sutz gets...
And you get to root against your brother. Hey.
Yeah. But yes. I'd like to go up against my brother in the finals. I think that'd be kind of cool to do, you know. But so yeah, that's where we're at. This was a cheaper league. We're playing for a bottle, a trophy that's a whiskey holder. I forgot the actual title of it. Yes, Pat's holding it. Pat is holding it. It's, yes. Ooh. Pour some nice, good old-fashioned... No, don't throw it. Don't throw it. We're going to be throwing that around on New Year's, aren't we? Great. Should probably hide that, Pat. No. Okay.
Do the presentation.
We should know by then. Yeah. So you can just give it to me there. I like it. Yeah, so that's all I got for our playoffs.
No, we won't. Never mind. 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's the last week.
Yeah,
we'll have to have another party on Sunday.
That's the night. That's the weekend of the championship.
Yeah. We'll know who's gonna have it one way or another.
Yeah, we'll know if it's a Murray getting it or if it's a Murray versus
someone else. Yeah.
Yeah. But it does seem like it's gonna a Murray is gonna be in the finals right now, barring something.
All right, drastic. So I'm gonna predict Sutz and
my brother.
No.
Me?
No. I'm trying to figure out who would play who in these situations so I can make sure I make the right prediction here.
Okay, well, break it down. Who do you have winning between my brother and Rory?
Your brother at the moment.
Okay, and definitely. Then Alex and Berman, you have Alex.
I would have Alex winning, yeah.
So then you have Sutz versus my brother and me versus Alex.
Yeah, Sutz plays so Sutz versus Alex. There we go, perfect.
Oh, okay.
We'll have a very Murray defeat the week before that.
That hurts.
All
right.
Red Winter.
So now on to my favorite part of the show. That's my favorite part of the show because Pat lost last time.
Did I?
I think so. I remember texting you saying I win. I think that's what it was for.
There's a chance. My other lineup literally always wins me money. It's very disappointing. Did I send you the other line? I did send you the other lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one that won $100 and
That's not the lineup you made,
had
though.
one at DK Metcalf, who just sucked. Everyone else was doing great. Yeah, well,
Why
that's
did you
because I
just
make
send me
one here with you and I don't use the other one.
Why did you just send me a random thumbs up?
Actually, I closed all of your notifications, so I don't know really what I'm sending to people.
I just got a
Hopefully
random
enjoy it.
thumbs up from you on Facebook Messenger.
Well, you are all welcome for whatever I've sent you over the course of my life of trying to click close.
All right. So
All right.
you got DraftKings open there, Patrick?
I will in a second. It's a work in progress here.
Because I made
Do
the
things
lineup
slowly.
before the show so that I wasn't making it during the show. Because I
I'm gonna
always
do it
fuck
during
up
the
when
show.
that happens. And I picked the wrong
Me too,
people.
but that's why I'm going to do that. Because
Heard.
I already made one lineup,
Okay.
but that's okay.
We'll start like we always do with defense. I went with Jacksonville. They're cheap. Davis
That's
Mills
funny
can throw
because
it
I went
over.
with Houston in the other one. So
Oh,
let me
okay.
take a look at who I'm going to go with in this one. I did take Houston in my regular one. That I do know. But what fun is it to keep taking the same people over and over again? Mainly because every time I do that, they lose miserably. All right, defense. Where are we? Oof. Look at these options. Teams suck. Give me the Bills. Cam Newton
Interesting.
sucks.
Well, depends on which quarterback's
Cam
playing.
Newton sucks.
All right. Then we'll go back to the top. Quarterback, I got Jimmy G going against Atlanta.
Jimmy G.
Atlanta
Look at
sucks.
that pick.
Well,
It does suck.
you'll see my pick later as to why I picked Jimmy G. And
Did you take Kittle or Ayuk?
Devo.
He's a running back. Why
I
would you
don't
stack that with Jimmy G? It doesn't make no damn sense.
He's gonna get a
Why
catch.
is your stack a
He's gonna get a
quarterback and a
receiving
running
touchdown.
back?
He's gonna get a receiving touchdown this
Terrible
week.
combination.
Yeah, Debo's at my flex, and Jimmy G's my
I'm gonna
quarterback.
do the dumbest thing I can think of. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. That sounds super dumb, doesn't it? It feels super dumb.
Go ahead.
It looks super dumb.
What'd you do?
I'm gonna do that. Give me Davis Mills.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm gonna save some money.
Okay.
Jacksonville sucks.
My two
I
running
don't know if I
backs.
mentioned that yet today.
We talked about him earlier. I'm going with Javonte Williams, going against Cincinnati. He's 6,100. He's cheap. And then I'm just going to keep selecting him every week until he finally pays off for me. And that's just...
Antonio Gibson sucks.
Yep, I picked Antonio Gibson.
I know. I just want to let you know he sucks. Okay.
Yep.
Glad we got there at the end. So let's see.
That's just me being stubborn.
Should I take Myles Gaskin? Seems like he's a good pick this week. I think that's a solid choice. It's not. Don't do that. I'm going to do something.
Crazy.
I'm not going to do that crazy. That's too crazy. How much money do I want to save here? I'm going to take Rashad Penny.
I almost took him.
He had a good week last week. The Rams don't always do great against running back situations. Let's see. Man, you guys suck.
Yeah, this is why I chose Antonio Gibson.
I don't know if
it's like...
I don't know if you guys are aware of this fact, but these running backs suck.
That's why I went with Antonio Gibson. It's a good matchup against Philly.
I'm going to... we're going to see if he plays, but I'm going to give a nice welcome back to Michael Carter.
Okay.
I'm going to save a lot of money in my wide receiver spots.
Yeah, I've been saving...
I'm going to select my tight end first.
Okay.
And see exactly how much money I can spend on my wide receivers.
I took Ricky Seals-Jones.
I do like that.
For 3,400, I'll take
again,
that.
it's. I think it's dependent on whether or not McLaurin plays. Obviously, we know he's not, or we think he's not, I should say.
It was a nasty fall.
It was. Yeah. Ricky Seals-Jones. Just that feels dirty.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, so I spent up on Deebo Samuel in my flex, and then my next expensive wide receiver is Deonte Johnson going against Tennessee. We talked about him before. Then I took Brandon Cooks. 5,800 last time they played Jacksonville. Cooks put up over 20 fantasy points, and that was week 1 of the year. So I expect him to play well again. And then I went with Rondale Moore for the cheaper option with no DeAndre Hopkins. I'll take a shot with Rondale Moore.
Let's see if I feel comfortable spending this much money.
I'm guessing Cooper Kupp's one of them.
He is.
Yep.
He is. Do you even get targets? You do kind of get targets. But you suck. Okay, good. Huh.
We should get the Jeopardy music for when we're doing this.
Do 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 do. This lineup sucks. Holy crap! I can't spend that much money on a third wide receiver. Okay, I changed my mind. It's too much money to spend. Let's do that. I'm taking Ricky Seals-Jones out. I'm gonna spend money on you. Give me Mike Gesicki.
No.
So yeah, I am going to run with Cooper Kupp, Deonte Johnson.
PPR boys.
Yeah. Me Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
He's been the wide receiver target. If Debo's still playing in the backfield, Ayuk still has plenty of opportunity to be that, and that leaves the man I just talked about at 3,500, Nico Collins, to round out the lineup.
Okay.
So there's my stack: Davis Mills, Nico Collins.
I like it. Like it, Patrick. All right, well, that'll just about do it for us here for episode 15. Good luck to those of you in the fantasy playoffs. Good luck to those who are trying to get into the fantasy playoffs. For those of you that didn't make the fantasy playoffs, get better.
No, don't do that. It's no fun for us.
Yeah, well, it is a little fun for us when you get a little better.
Nah, it sucks.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, have a good night, everybody. Say bye, Pat.
Bye.